All right, welcome. Keith and I are done traveling. We're back to our normal lives as we enter the end game. I would officially say the end game of the Nexus Season 9 main event, the end game of the Diplomats show, which has been on the air unceasingly for months. Happy to get this over with. I'm sure Cedric is also. We're here going into the fall and winter of 1908. And looks to me, like we discussed in our last episode, that Cedric has it wrapped up unless someone's going to throw to someone else. And that's kind of where we left it.
On a special note, I feel like most of these top boards never get to an end game state. They get to a mid-game state that's where they win. But this is actually going towards the 18 threshold. So it is getting up there.
That's a really good point. And I think that it's why we see a lot of caution on top boards. People like Greg or Ewok can do well because no one is jumping out ahead. But we definitely have Cedric here who's jumped way ahead to 11 centers in fall 1908. Beyond that, he's got at least Spain and probably Portugal if he decides to take it in the bank. So he's looking at 13. And it's not looking like anything can be taken from him. So that's a really good point. Because normally, 10, 9, 10, 11, that's a good score. Leonardo had, I can't remember what he had, but I think he had 12 or 13 maybe.
This was actually pretty high. They were actually approaching the end game too, but he had to balance it a little bit more. He didn't have as secure position.
Yeah. So, okay, so will France get eliminated? Will Russia take Trieste back? These are all the things we're going to be looking for. What's going to happen between Russia and Turkey? Will Cedric convoy to Belgium? That's one of the things we talked about.
He should set up that line Belgium-Burgundy for sure.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, that's me. I haven't done that in a while. I've been on vacation.
Well, he did take Belgium via convoy. He took Portugal. So that is the end of Rob.
I'm kind of curious if Rob wanted out or if Cedric just did not trust him, the Janissary, for him here. Because that would have been much better to have France and Turanian if he was Janissary. Because you could always pick up Portugal later.
Yeah, there was no reason to take Portugal in this. Like, I don't know, what build can you get that's going to give you Turanian C by 1910, which is, I think, the way you have to think about it. But
it might have been
Rob wanted out.
He could have been afraid of retribution, having France put Turkey in Tunis or something. Could be a couple different things. But this is interesting. I thought all of Rob's moves indicated that he was willing to push against the RT, especially helping Italy, where Italy's supporting him in the Tyrolia here, which is pretty awesome.
Well, there's a couple ways to look at it. Italy is using him, right? Obviously, Italy thinks he's going to be in a Janissary role here, helping. I do find it sort of ironic that by taking Tyrolia, Russia, who Italy's been fighting and Germany's been helping Italy, gets Russia a retreat into Munich.
It makes me think that Darcy's checked out, because if if you're communicating with all the players, then you should know that retreat might be on the table. You'd probably want to know that, and you probably should have figured that out. I just don't see pushing one to benefit another. But if he doesn't care that Russia's there, then that's fine. And if he wants Russia to have his dots, then that's fair play. So
Yeah, well, he's entitled to that for sure.
I just feel like
sort of
there's been better options for him to throw to Russia than allowing him a retreat. So that's why I chalked it up to more just not playing because he doesn't feel like he has a stake in it.
Russia here advances to Finland and St. Petersburg, so goes north with those units, but I don't think he can take anything, and I still think he might lose St. Petersburg eventually.
He's gonna make Cedric commit as many units as possible to take it, though. So I think that's smart, especially if you're not worried about the South.
But it's really hard to argue. This is a good year for Russia. Gets Trieste back, but builds too, because not only does he retreat to Munich,
he walks into Bulgaria.
Is that a throw?
Well, it depends on the builds in the next season, but I would assume that it looks like Turkey's arranging a balance in black still. Turkey's still going to the Black Sea. I'm not sure, but if it is a throw,
it could be. It could be a stab. Could be a throw.
Could be a stab. Could be a throw. I mean, Russia has to stab regardless. So if Russia knows Turkey's moves, then it's a good chance that this is a stab because he's got to at least try to win. If it's a throw, then it's going to look the exact same. So it's not much we can really tell a difference, unfortunately.
I think it might set up for a throw because I don't have an explanation if Turkey is playing to win why Russia is getting support from Serbia into Trieste. Trieste in an RT should be Turkish.
That was last year too. We every time we said Trieste should be Turkish, and every time Turkey's been putting Russia into Trieste. So you might be right there. That could be the tell there that maybe they've been doing this throw for a while now.
It very well could be a throw immediately after these moves went through. A series of recriminations occurred on the finalist private chat where Tim said this time he really was for a draw, and a lot of arguments over draws, but the game is not drawn.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to draw, then they wouldn't be putting Russia in a better position season after season. So I doubt the RT is drawing here. Because Cedric really has no reason to not draw. And everyone else kind of wants out, as far as I know. So I would guess it's the RT voting it down if this is a throw. I could see why Tim would want to throw, just because maybe he has bad blood with, the EG. Maybe there's been words exchanged. But I can't see why Turkey would want to throw here. I think Turkey would want to be thrown too. I don't think.
Yeah, why should I mean? But I don't think Turkey could get enough things to be thrown to.
You don't think? I mean, it's 2 points behind.
He can only build. Well, he's 4 now.
Well, now, but yeah. Had he built the army in Ankara and been able to walk through, that's what I said last time. If there's a throw, build the army and you'll be able to walk through all the Russian centers. But if you're going to fight it out, fleet. But yeah, it looks like a throw to Russia, which I don't know. I don't feel like I owe Russia anything as Turkey. Like, oh, thanks for keeping me on 4 or 5 the entire time. It's not like you fought valiantly together. So
they weren't a team.
They weren't really a team. It was really minor Turkey the entire way. If anything, Russia should be grateful that Turkey did not attack them the entire game for the most part. Even though Russia positioned on Turkey the entire time. So
I'm going to say I don't know if it's a throw. Okay, but
no,
I'm
I'm just
saying
saying.
if it's a throw, Russia didn't earn
No,
a throw from Turkey, is what I'm saying.
I think Turkey earned a throw from Russia, but I don't think Russia earned a throw from Turkey. But like I said,
I think that's fair.
Well, we can definitely talk about it during the exit interviews if it happens, or if we want clarification, I suppose. Because things can be said that can turn people off, even if they don't have any direct interaction tactically. So
I mean, that's super interesting. I guess it will depend on what units people build. I mean, this is a bit of a, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, Russia can't build in St. Petersburg, so that's not good for them. I don't think Cedric can have anything taken away from him. The only vulnerable unit is Tunis. And it seems to me that all that has to happen is Spain goes to Western Med. It would have been better if Mid-Atlantic, I think, had been in Western Med this turn, but
yeah, I wish he would have went to Western Med. I mean, Portugal can be picked up at any time, and French Tyrolia would have been really nice to hold back Russia a little bit longer, make them disband the fleet. I mean, Turanian's nice, but if you're in West, you can push forward. So I guess he just didn't trust Rob. I mean, Rob has no incentive to help Cedric here at all. He's been ground down season after season for the entire game. So I can understand if Cedric didn't trust him here, but man, it'd be nice to have France on side.
Yeah. Okay. Well, France is eliminated. Rob, we'll talk about you in grades, but it's not that it wasn't fair what happened to you, but just sad is what it was.
He had the best tactics the entire game. So
you played as well as you could. What can I say? Cedric's an asshole. All right. Let's see. Italy looked like they were getting a build, but no builds for Italy, no builds for Turkey. We'll do a German disband.
Doesn't Turkey have a disband too?
What is Bulgaria? Oops.
Bulgaria's gone. So I guess if we see Black Sea or Serbia taken out, I mean, Black Sea would be an aggressive throw if he used the convoy.
Yeah, I did that. I was Turkey once, and I convoyed Jason Massbaum into my center in the DBNI final, and he won.
I was in an AT with Karthik against Doug Malott and Krill with EF, and I was throwing the Karthik because I was like, I want my side to win. But then I'd have to throw every one of my centers. And Doug's just like, did I do anything to deserve that? And I'm like, no. That's how I kind of feel here. It's like, if Doug had pissed me off, then I would have completely thrown. But throwing a couple of centers to your ally to put them over the top is different than giving them every last center, in my opinion. I just still want to play for the best result. But
in my mind, if you're throwing, you're getting rid of Albania or Serbia. Probably Serbia. Or black, but I think if you're throwing, black is helpful.
Yeah, I guess black's helpful. Most likely Albania or Serbia. That's crazy to think about.
Well, I think we'll know more after the builds. I don't want to start lamenting something that hasn't happened yet. I think some of this might be we're just trying to keep it interesting. It may, this might be a stab. This might be Tim just going for it.
Yeah, he's in Munich. He's got 3 on Berlin. He can hold Kiel and take Berlin.
You can take Venice. Well,
He can't
Not
take
yet.
Venice.
He can take it in the.
Well, Marseille goes to
1900.
Piedmont, and he can hold it, most likely.
He can take Venice with Turkish help, theoretically, or Turkey could go to Venice, because Bulgaria is in Apulia now.
Correct. Bulgaria is in Apulia now. I did not. Well, but
Yeah.
Italy gets a rebuild too, so there are things to happen.
All right, so I think Italy should build an army.
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to slow down the RT, then the army makes sense because Cedric definitely has the fleets coming, even though West would have been really good about now.
I think you need an army, Sev.
Do you want to move
Army.
forward to builds?
No, I'm just saying what I'm guessing what the builds will be. I think Russia needs an army in Sev and an army.
But we can go to builds.
No, I like to guess.
We can still guess, just on the
Okay,
build
don't put
page.
him up yet.
I
Don't
didn't
put
hit
him up
enter. It's just
Okay.
saying what it is. It's in the box.
All right. What?
It's just showing you the pluses and minuses.
All right. Things
Don't
I
freak
needed
out.
a minute ago. What does Russia build? I'd say Army Warsaw, Army Sev.
Yeah, regardless if it's a stab or a throw, I would probably say the same.
If he builds a fleet to dislodge the Black Sea, if it's then he's got awkward retreat problems, he's got Serbia issues. We're gonna know a lot by this disband of Turkey, I think. Like a lot. Cedric.
Even if this is a soft stab, maybe Turkey just lets him have it. So I don't think if it's a stab that Russia can successfully defend both against Cedric and make progress in Italy and Turkey. I think that's just too messy. So
Does Cedric need an army? This is the question I am wondering about.
he's got 2 years to get an army in position. So
Where?
he can go through St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, he's got no convoy lines, so he'd have to move to West, Mid-Atlantic, and Channel to convoy Liverpool to Wales, go to Wales to convoy to where? He really doesn't have anywhere. And the best places he could convoy to are like Piedmont or Tuscany. And that's going to be like 3 seasons to do that, especially without the French unit. So
I think he needs fleets. What I'm looking at is Sweden, right? Which is, I mean, Sweden has to protect Norway right now. It can't go to Baltic. But man, he really wants to be in Baltic.
yeah, I think he just defends Norway, Edinburgh to Norwegian, London to North to Denmark, Denmark to Baltic, possibly.
I can't come up with a good reason to build an army.
No, they don't have enough time to use it, and he has no convoy lines right now. If they would have taken St. Petersburg, he would have had a place to flood his armies through. But that would have required German assistance before. Three fleets seems
Darcy
excessive.
disband the fleet.
I don't think it particularly matters what he disbands. I think if he disbands the fleet, it's more pro-England. Because that fleet can cause a lot of chaos with breaking supports in Scandinavia. That will help Russia survive and be able to top. If Darcy doesn't care about his game at all. If Darcy's just worried about Darcy centers, then the fleet will probably pull off because that's a good way of defending your cores with 2 armies. Well, as long as you can.
I mean, practically speaking, Berlin's lost if Russia wants it to be lost.
Sure.
Yeah, I bet you he pulls Ruhr. That's probably what he pulls. Or
Ruhr-
maybe Berlin. Maybe Berlin.
I mean, Ruhr is not going to do much, so it's probably the optimal pull. Berlin is definitely pro-Russian. Kiel is pro-English.
All right, suit it up. Let's go. Let's go see what happens. Serbia.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a stab because you need Serbia to poke the middle. It's like Serbia can walk into so many Russian dots there. So Turkey is not going to fight back.
This is a throw.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Okay, so now what can Russia get? That's the question.
It's a math problem. So
Yeah.
Russia's
Hold
at
on.
10.
Russia's at 10. Cedric's at 14. Sev can convoy to Ankh. Bulgaria can go to Khan.
Mm-hmm. That's probably all you want to take for the first year. He can probably get all of them.
One, two, three, four, five. And Berlin. So I can get Russia to 16.
The thing that I guess it doesn't matter. I was like, maybe Russia should have built a fleet in Sev and just walked into everything and slowly replaced the Turkish units. But I guess they got 2 years. I don't think Cedric can push into Anatolia that quickly anyway. So
What can Cedric take? Cedric can take Kiel.
more than likely Kiel.
Maybe Kiel.
Maybe Kiel. And it can be supported. It's nothing there.
It's almost more important to put Darcy in Kiel and hold it. He can definitely hold it.
Nah, I'd put Darcy in Munich. It's like Berlin to Silesia, Ruhr to Munich with Burgundy support. Put him into Munich. Hold him there.
Very astute. Under that scenario, you can get Munich. Cedric can take Kiel.
Yep.
Can Russia lose Munich here? Berlin to Munich. Ruhr supports Burgundy supports. Yeah, that's
solid.
That's solid, and I think they can hold Munich.
Yeah,
because
they would be able to hold Munich. And then Denmark to Baltic puts a lot of pressure on Berlin if they take it.
Yeah, and it would be a walk from Holland to Kiel. Now, if Cedric had another army, he could have convoyed an army to Holland in that case. Okay, so 15 is likely for Russia there. Cedric would get to 15. That would be 15-15 if Munich goes to Germany. The tiebreak would go to Russia, if I remember correctly, because Cedric, I think, picked first or second.
Because he's at 10, you get all the Turkish centers 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, minus Munich, 14, probably plus Venice, though.
I think Rome is more likely. Right?
For Russia?
Oh, no. Tim may take Russia at 16, but I'm thinking Italy might be able to take Rome or Naples. I mean, England might be able to take Rome or Naples.
Yeah, more than likely Philip will give him those dots if he can, if he's able to. England just has to put a lot of pressure on Turkey as fast as possible because he can't hold those units and throw his units at the same time. I don't think that works.
I wonder if Turkey Nikita is. I mean, for those viewers who don't know, in the semifinals, Nikita and Riaz had a deal where they would coin flip for the win. Nikita lost the coin flip and he betrayed his word and didn't end up throwing to Riaz, and he ended up winning his game to make the finals. I'm wondering if this is Nikita trying to make up for that.
Or just piss off Riaz more. Like, look, I can't do it.
I would hate to throw and lose everything. Like literally everything. Because he has to lose everything. What can Cedric take? Cedric can take Keel. We've determined that, but that depends whether Darcy's going to play ball or not.
Right.
We don't, we don't know. And I'm not sure why Darcy would play ball. Like, what does he care? He probably hates both Rob and, sorry, he hates Cedric and Tim. I don't.
He could survive. Sometimes that's a benefit in itself. Like, do you want out or do you want to be held in Munich on the line?
I'd like to be held on Munich on the line. That's the way. I mean,
100%.
Okay, Marseille will go to Piedmont. Spain will go, I think, has to go to Western Med. Portugal to Spain. Yeah, it'd be really nice to have a French fleet down there, Cedric, in light of what's happened. But fine. I guess Cedric can. God, it's going to be hard. In 1910, maybe he can take an Italian center. Maybe if Germany isn't playing along, then I think he has to give up on the Italian centers. And get Burgundy to Ruhr or something? Or I think Marseille still goes to Piedmont here. Belgium to Ruhr.
I mean, the only difference is instead of Belgium walking into Ruhr, it's Burgundy supports Belgium to Ruhr.
Yeah.
That's really the only difference. It puts you a season behind, but once those Russian units are in Bohemia or Tyrolia or wherever they're going to be, then it's going to be a lot harder to take Munich then. You really need Darcy this season to make it close. Especially if Turkey's throwing all of their centers, which is a bad look. But
well, I want to talk about the morality of throwing because I've been thrown to. I've thrown. I threw in my younger days, my early days of diplomacy. I threw a solo to Conk just because I wanted him to make the Nexus 2 season main event finals. I'd already made it. I literally threw him a solo. You just said the only way I can make it is if I get a solo. And I'm like, sure. Which was really controversial on Nexus at the time. I had no idea that would be controversial. I just wanted to play with Conk.
Throws are always controversial. Doesn't matter how benevolent or justified they may be.
The WDC 2023 was decided on a throw. Jamal Bukharli was thrown to after Eddie Bresson tried to throw to Brandon Fogel. It was a counter throw that was more successful than the original throw. First of all, do you think throwing is illegal?
It's not. Throwing is part of the game. I mean,
throwing is part of the game. That's right.
It is diplomatic management that you can do it.
We can be on our moral high horse about it if we want to, but it is allowed by the rules and occurs frequently.
And in variant play, it happens too. My 1862, people are complaining that people throw too much. And I'm like, well, if that's what you need to keep the game going or keep it balanced or have an outcome that you want to have happen, then that's what you got to do. So it's
when I said I threw the comic before in season 2, that was allowed. I didn't understand its controversial nature at the time. As I've played a few more games, I tend to endorse throws at least under these circumstances. One, if I'm holding the line and people are dotting me.
100%.
That's
I'm not holding the line anymore. That's not a throw. That's a middle finger. But I get it. Yeah, the same thing.
that's totally acceptable. Like I'm not taking that.
Right.
And yeah, that's one instance. I think another instance would be if, and this is close to that, but I don't think this qualifies. If two people are in a really good alliance on one side of the board and they would prefer one of them win than the other person who's ahead, I do see that happen sometimes. That's happened to me, but mostly as the person getting rewarded. I did that in a,
I'll do that if it's close. I'll do that if it's close. Riaz and I had an agreement on our DB&I where we were like, hey, we're going to ally together. And if it's close and one of us is in a better position, we'll do it. And I think if he would have given me all his centers, I would have probably been in it, but it would have been a huge throw. And I think throwing a dot here or there, no one really bats an eye, but throwing all your dots is a scandal. Like I made Stephen Hope do it for Katie in my game. I was like, the entire East threw to me because he threatened to throw and did not defend himself on a top board where you get nothing. And so I made him
Russ Dennis did it for me against Katie at one point. He
threw all his centers?
He did because it was something I was just in the middle of observing, but there was an argument where Russ is like, I can throw faster than anyone can throw on your side of the board, so let's draw. And she didn't want to draw. And so Russ is like, I'm going to prove myself right. And so he threw me all the dots.
That's a fair point. I mean, if you make a threat, you have to back it up. You can't back down from that position or else people aren't going to believe it. Next time
he didn't want to throw. He wanted to draw.
I agree. So, you're like, let's draw or I'm going to throw. And she said, throw. And then he had to do the choice. You can't you can't back down. Like you just can't. If you do, then they're gonna think you're a pushover next game. So
throwing, I think there's 2 points I want to hit here. I'm breaking this down because we have a little bit of time. I said that when you're in a close alliance and you'd rather have one of you win than the other, the presumption is it's a close alliance. And I have not seen evidence of that between this Russia and this Turkey, that it's been a close alliance. It seems like it's just been, yeah, we're bonded by circumstance, but I mean, Russia's been no huge friend of Turkey. Like, I don't get it.
No, he bounced him out of Serbia like 3 times. And he kept going into black and positioning himself on him. And he didn't give him Trieste ever. He didn't allow Turkey to grow. I just don't see why Turkey would throw to Russia. Like I said, I see why Russia would be like, hey, Turkey, take my dots. I can't win. You have been nothing but good to me the entire game, and I've been nothing but an opportunistic, ungrateful northern person. But I don't know. It's definitely interesting. The only other thing I can think of is bad blood. So if there's conversations to be had and I absolutely detest the other person, I will definitely throw everything I have. But I'm not sure what conversations have been had on the game. So
is there a difference in your mind between king making and throwing?
I guess what I was saying when I was playing with Riaz and said we'd throw, I guess a dot or two here and there where you put someone over the top. I guess that's more king making than a full throw, but it's basically the same. It's just throwing light, and it looks a lot better optically to the other players. So I think if Turkey was to be king making here, everyone like, okay, I get that, but to throw every one of your centers and eliminate yourself is kind of nuts on the top board.
There's also, like I said, this occurs frequently, and I think Doc Bender won his world championship on a throw. I think it's more common practice in the older hobby, even though literally it just happened 2 years ago at the WDC. It seemed like there were a lot of throws in those days, at least from what people tell me. The ethos of press or extended deadline finals has tended to be the Greg or Jordan ethos, which is I just want to maximize my centers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jordan had, I think, season 5 when he was Turkey, he was down to 1, and I think he wound up on 6 or 7 because he just kept going. And the same thing with Greg last year. I think there'd be some arguments that Greg didn't king make, right? He could have helped Jordan. He just chose not to attack someone. That's totally different than a throw.
And a lot of these games end up in a king-making situation where it's like, oh, it's 1910. I definitely can't win. I have the opportunity to put one person here or there. The problem with this game is that it has become wildly towards the end game instead of still in the mid game at 1910. And since everything is unbalanced, to even put someone on top, you have to do a complete throw. So it's a circumstance of the game state of how drastic that has to be.
In my simple mind, the way I'm looking at it is Italy is helping Cedric. Cedric's at 14. Italy's at 3. That's 17 centers between Italy and Cedric. Russia and Turkey have 15 centers between the two of them, and Germany has 2 centers. And so it really comes down to Darcy and whether Cedric can get. I mean, there's a big problem right now, right? Which is, well, not a big problem, but Naples is under threat.
I mean, Tunis to Ionian, Rome to Apulia, Naples to Apulia, and Marseille to Piedmont. It holds a season at least.
Yeah.
I really wish he was in Western Med, but like I said, it depends on what happened with France. Hopefully, I have that interview soon. Get some clarity on that.
Yeah, we'll need to get clarity. We'll have to do an interview of Rob and get his clarity on this. I mean, I've kind of dreaded the interview of Rob because, like, what is there to say? All he did was play defense, and there was a strong EG, and then there was a stab, just like he said there was going to be a stab. And then he tried to Janissary for Cedric, and then he got eliminated. That's Rob's interview. But hopefully Rob can provide some more color to it than that,
Sure. I mean, he might be able to say more about the board state and why things are the way they are, and more about the diplomatic part, because I'm sure no matter how resigned he is to losing, he probably still is playing because it's just who he is. He's still going to play his position, and all his moves have proven that. So it could be a short interview, but it would definitely help us understand.
If Tim gets thrown to, is he a deserving winner?
That's tough.
I think the answer is yes. But there's always
yes, because you convinced Turkey to give you all their centers. That's a lot.
I mean, it does speak to a diplomatic ability if he was able to do that. It doesn't look great, but it is not illegal. It's in the rules, and
I don't think that looks bad on Tim's part at all.
I think it looks bad on Nikita.
I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh, you got the centers and you won, but and you still look fine. But the person who gave them to you is the salt of the earth.
It's even more maddening if you're Cedric, because Cedric has not supported, attacked, or encouraged the entire game any attack on Turkey. Like, he did not draw. I mean, he can't. It's physically not adjacent to Turkey.
He is now, but not the entire. It's not he's like, go AI, I don't know. Maybe it was. He put enough pressure on Russia for a while there to give him a little bit of play, but I'm not too sure.
The one thing I know on this board for sure is that Philip is never going to throw to Russia.
No. I feel like Philip would flip the game board before he did that. So I feel bad for Philip. I know he has good conversations, but with a static game like this, it doesn't matter how good of a negotiator you are if everyone's not going to break their alliance. And you're the only one willing to.
Okay, well, we have to do grades. I don't know if you've issued your revised grades for 1907. But
I do have 1907 grades, but England got an A+++.
Wow.
Yeah, highest grade I'll
right.
But yeah.
Okay, so England's grade: builds 3 but eliminated France. Ouch. It's really hard for me to say someone who builds 3 does not get an A+. So I'm going to give an A+, but I'm a little worried that French elimination may have come back to make it closer than it should have been.
I got it at a B+. It's really, really good. It's far from perfect. So
because of the France thing?
The German disband's very favorable, which is nice. But you got to look at all the builds. I mean, Russia's building. There's a positional problem there. So not being in West, he just seems to be a season behind everywhere. And I'm not too sure. I mean, it could be an A-, but I got it at a B+ right now.
Okay, France, sadly, Rob gets an F. The Janissary thing did not work out, but it was a real pleasure watching Rob play the whole time. So I'm sorry that you're eliminated. We'll get the interview soon.
I gave him a D. I loved all his moves. I think he had no control over anything else, and even with the disbands, he gets a D, which is pretty low score for him because he usually gets D+ on tactics alone. But 2 disbands hurts and elimination.
Germany, all Germany's problems can be deduced down to should have built a fleet in 01. But I'm not joking about that.
Should have opened the
Denmark. Like, this is a textbook case of why Germany needs to build a fleet in 01 if they get 2 builds. Man, Darcy, I've been really hard on you. I like you as a person. Before I say the grade, I'm going to point out Bradley's private comment in the private channel is that Darcy induced Turkey to throw to Russia by him sort of functionally janissarying for Cedric. I don't think that's true, by the way. I think I think that's wrong. But having said that,
I mean, had he been in St. Petersburg and still had Holland, Munich, and had 2 on Warsaw and in Vienna, I mean, he was actually in a decent position still. Not a great position, but had Cedric not stabbed him, I mean, he was still playing for a viable position. And I still think that even if he's not playing great, he's still trying to live. So it's more than I
I
can
think
say.
he is trying to live. That move to Ruhr was not to give Russia Munich. I think he thought Cedric might move to Ruhr and it would bounce.
Yep.
Like that is what I thought. That's what I think happened. I actually thought about Ruhr a lot, and I didn't say it on the last episode. But I came down to I don't think Cedric can move to Ruhr because he couldn't, because he had just taken Holland and he needed to secure Holland's place, and Belgium wasn't there yet. So, and I don't think Cedric wanted a convoy to Holland, and as it turns out, that wouldn't have worked had he gone to Ruhr. Having said all that, it just didn't work out for Darcy, and I'm going to go with D-.
He got a score so low that it was less than an F. Love you, Darcy, but you had no communication with Italy or France to know. You're obviously not doing anything with Russia. You're trying to stop England. The tactics didn't work out, and I don't know why you moved to Ruhr to protect yourself and then disband Kiel. It's like at this point you kind of have to pick somebody, and I don't think he's picked anybody. So I don't know.
I think he may have picked England again. I think England may have induced that build with the argument to live in Berlin.
Munich.
You know what I was saying.
That would be nice for Cedric. Obviously, but yeah, it was a -2 score. So unfortunately, with the disband and everyone building against you and you being in the middle, it's an F. Unfortunately. Love you.
Well, it's what did McCallum say? There's some grade lower than F, and that's what whatever that grade is that what you're giving him? But all right, fine. There's an F triple minus. Sad face exclamation point. So that's the.
I didn't think I need a score under 0, but I guess
all right, Italy. Italy's been at 3 for a while. 2 years according to the graph. Had Trieste, but got it piffed. I don't know. What can Italy do? C.
It's a C. Good tactics, cooperating with everyone he possibly can cooperate with. I feel like Italy is just at the front, like naked, saying, "Come on, bring it." He doesn't care. He's gonna just do whatever he wants.
Italy's playing, but he's checked out, right?
I don't think Italy's checked out at all. He's talking to everybody. See, he's probably still talking to Russia and Turkey. I mean, at least
I'm just saying that he's like the number one proponent of the draw. He's right. Can we just end this? Can we just end it?
Sure, yeah.
I think it'll be remarkable.
England deserves it, and he wants England to win. He's obviously been fighting RT the entire game, so
it will be remarkable if he finishes in 3rd place. I will tell you that.
Right.
Let's see.
Possibility is there. Turkey's going to try for it.
Russia is +2, 4 behind, but with a lot of real estate in front of them. Diplomatic achievement to get Serbia disbanded, and I think this is all going to be coordinated, although, Turkey can stop it on a dime if he wants to. But I'm going to bet on – I can't bet on what's going to happen in 1909 because even though it looks like that's going to be amazing. So it's just an A for now.
Nice. You got a B for me. This is very good. He's been getting some C's for the past few rounds. So a lot of growth and a lot of potential. Fortunately getting to Munich and Tyrolia coming off, Serbia coming off. I mean, the only thing that's really bad is England building 3, and St. Petersburg's going to be under pressure soon. So Kiel coming off is not great. It's definitely something you would want to stay on the board if you thought Germany was going to be on your side. So, and Italy building in Rome means that Italy is still not on your side. So it's a B. It's still strong and still good. We haven't what?
These fleet builds by Cedric, I think Denmark's got to go to Baltic, North Sea to Denmark, Edinburgh, Norwegian, London to North Sea. Liverpool to Western Med will take a full year and a half when there's only 2 years to go.
True. I guess an army would have been fun. I don't know. I guess you could pump it into Holland if Holland's moving to Kiel. Yeah, probably one army there would make sense because, that Liverpool fleet is just not going anywhere.
I'm going to save the worst grade ever for Turkey if I see a throw. Then he'll get the F triple minus exclamation point sad face. But I don't like what Turkey's done in disbanding Serbia and not advocating for himself to get the centers from Russia. And I'm not a fan of this play, but I have grown to like Turkey throughout this whole game, except for this. This I don't like. So for now, I give it a D.
It's a D minus. Solid spring. I mean, the spring gave him position, gave him hope, and then this happened, and I'm like, so not only did you lose a center, but you've given up any chance of taking it back, and you have a build against you. So it brought it down significantly. So D minus. Nothing good about this position anymore. I think he salvaged a position that he decided to throw away immediately.
Well, we've asked this question at the end of every year, who will win? It's been kind of boring for a couple of years now.
It has been.
It's not boring anymore because there is a contender. I don't think it's a 50% contender yet, but I do think it's a legitimate contender for the title in Russia. I think we agree it's a two-horse race.
It is a 2-horse race at this point. I don't think Russia can counterthrow at this point. Not with 0 Turkish armies.
There's no Turkish army. Is the IT back on?
One in Apulia. Can they IT? Get McAllis on here. Can they IT from this position? If this went to 1920, could they IT from this position? I don't know.
It would be an interesting IT with Italian armies and all Turkish fleets. The opposite of the regular IT. I'm still going with England because but that is almost as much heart as and not as much head in that pick. I think he's going to do it heart and head, but my head is saying it could get bad. Darcy could mess with it a little bit if you think about it. But I think Tim needs to,
I think Darcy really controls it with Munich. He really does. Because I think it's 15-16. And if he gets Munich, then it's 15-15. Well, more than likely. And then hopefully Cedric can pick up one Italian dot to win.
Hope is not a strategy.
Yeah, but it could be there. It just depends on how fast Turkey throws. It's like, does Russia have enough units in the south to take them all at one time? Or does Turkey have to start disbanding and can't stop Italy and England from pushing forward? That's the question.
I almost think he has to risk Tunis to try and take Italian centers. I almost think he should just go to Tyrrhenian here.
Oh yeah, definitely should go to Tyrrhenian. Well, I don't know if he taps Ionian, it saves Naples though. Because if
But he
Naples,
doesn't need to save it. He needs one of those centers is the problem.
yeah, if Naples gets blown up, your game's over. I mean, if I'm going to Tyrrhenian, then I need Apulia to be blown up. I need Naples to go to Apulia with support from Rome, which may not do anything, but if it doesn't do anything, it means Ionian's holding Apulia. If they can pop Apulia and Tunis goes to Tyrrhenian, I mean, Spain's going to West, most likely. God, I hate him in Portugal. I wish he was in Western Better North Africa. It's so much slower. Because if he walks into Tunis, yeah, he could probably. I don't think he can hold that either. If Ionian goes to Tunis and he walks out, he's probably going to support himself back into Ionian. But it's a lot of guesses. But I think he might be right. I think popping Apulia and moving to Tyrrhenian might be the play. Because if Apulia is popped, then Venice will be easier to hold. I think he needs the Italian armies more than he needs the fleet, but we'll see.
I mean, I think whether it's up to, we haven't talked about this. If Tim could take Venice, it's 15-15, regardless of what happens in Munich. With that Turkish army in Apulia, even if Marseille gets to Piedmont, that's going to be the big battle. We're looking at Venice, we're looking at Munich. Interesting things.
I think Darcy's one army in Ruhr is the most important piece on the board. He single-handedly dictates who wins. Because once the army's in Munich, I mean, if Tim's going to posture for Venice, I mean, it could be tapped. It could be tapped. It could be thrown. Munich to Tyrolia to break support, and then Cedric just takes Munich. I mean, it just depends on if Darcy really hates Cedric more than he hates Tim, or if he doesn't care. So,
I don't think Darcy's the kind of person that holds grudges, but on the other hand, Cedric did actually ruin his game.
Yeah.
Like Darcy has every reason to not be a Cedric fan, but
True. I
think he has a bigger reason to want to live. Tim has to kill Darcy to probably win. Yep. Whereas Cedric doesn't. But Darcy's in this crappy position altogether because of Cedric.
Maybe.
In his mind.
Or maybe Tim offered him a deal and backed out of it, like he did with Philip twice. So you never know. Maybe Cedric got conned, and maybe he deserves to lose to Tim because he got conned. But if Darcy sees that and says, "Oh well," and it's like you stabbed, now you have to commit. I understand that. I'm going to punish the person who tempted you. Then maybe he goes after Russia. So depends on the.
I think he had a very prescient comment that not many of these finals games reach an end game state. This is going to reach a true end game state by 1910. I'm going to ask a different question. The winner of season 9, Keith, will have how many centers?
16.
I can't believe that. I'm going to go with 15. I can't believe we get to 16.
16. 16 is the win. Whether it's a 16-16 or 16-15, 16 is the win.
All right, with that word, good night, Keith.
Good night.